Hi, welcome to a Vinyasa practice. My name is Kaylee. When you're ready, you can meet me in a seat. If a seated position just feels like a not very great way to kind of drop into your body, if you're just incredibly uncomfortable in a seated position, feel free to lie down onto your back or onto your belly to come into child's pose. You can even ground in a standing position if that feels ideal for you. So once you've chosen some sort of shape, some kind of asana is the Sanskrit word, let yourself just be with that shape. Be with the way that your body is showing up in this moment. See if you can really make a point of welcoming all of the pieces of yourself. There's really no way for us to exist without existing in all of those different facets that make us who we are. We can sometimes try and push certain parts underneath the surface. But even when we shut down those elements of who we are, they're still there. And in your practice of yoga, there's this really wonderful opportunity to let yourself be, to let yourself arrive exactly as you are. See if you can breathe into your skin from the soles of your feet all the way up to the crown of your head. So the Sanskrit word asana means seat, but it also means posture. So it's not just a seated posture. And perhaps most importantly for our practice today, asana means perspective or point of view. In the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali writes that in yoga, we seek a perspective that is both steady and has the quality of ease. It's this union of energy. Take a couple more breaths wherever you landed. Take one more breath, breathing into yourself, to all of those things that make you you, really touching the borders of you here. And then open mouth exhale to offer it up. Blink your eyes open if they were closed and meet me in a tabletop position, coming to the hands and the knees. And then just go ahead and move your whole torso in some circles over your wrists and over your knees. Try and stay spacious in your lower back. So we're finding a pretty neutral spine. Go ahead and switch direction of those circles. In other words, you feel like your ribs and your pelvis are aligned and stable. Good, come to the center, lift your tailbone, tuck the toes under, keep your arms straight as you draw your chest forward, and then push the hands energetically down into your mat, but also towards your knees. See if you can broaden out the collarbones. Stay here, or maybe you tip your chin up to open up the throat. So we're opening up belly, heart, and perhaps even throat. Big breath in. Untuck the toes, tuck the tailbone, and then start to round your spine, chin curls toward your chest for cat. So we're opening up the whole backside of the body, the whole backside of the spine, I should say, the back of the shoulders and the neck. Let's oscillate between those two. Come back into cow, come on to the balls of your feet, stretching out the plantar fascia. Take a big breath in. And then cat, round your spine, press into the tops of the feet and the palms of your hands. Take two more here, breathing in, breathing out. One more, nice and smooth here. See if you can find a little ease. And then from your hands and your knees, find a neutral spine, tuck the toes under, keep the spine neutral, pull your belly button toward your lower back, and then we're just gonna lift the knees like an inch, maybe a centimeter. Keep the knees directly underneath your hips. Keep your shoulders over your wrists. So notice if you shifted backwards, play around with shifting slightly forward. Feel some heat start to build in the arms and in your core. Take a breath in. Stay here as you exhale. Drop your knees, come back into cow. Inhale, broaden out the collarbones. Pull the heels of your hands toward the back of your mat. Neutral spine, exhale, belly to low back, lift the knees just for that out breath. Let's do that again. Inhale, cow. Exhale, lift the knees, spine is neutral. 2 more times, really warming up through the upper body and the core. Breathe in. Breathe out, little hover, shift forward. 1 more time, cow, take a breath in. Hover the knees and then take it all the way into a downward facing dog. Pedal out your first down dog. Do your thing here to check in. Some days it feels good to stay still in these shapes to really get stable and grounded. And I'll invite for the practice, for an intention today, really to try making things easier from the inside. So it might not look any different on the outside, but see if you can create a quality with your energy, with your breath, with your mind of ease. On an inhale, lift the heels, look forward. And then step your feet outside of your pinky fingers. We're gonna find bal-asana, yogi squat, drop the hips down, bring the hands to the heart. Maybe you already want a little wrist release like I do. You can circle the wrist out in front of you. Maybe shift the weight from foot to foot. Just find some space in the lower back. Bring your hands back to your heart center. Press the elbows into the inner thighs. Inhaling. And then push the inner thighs back into the elbows. Sit taller here as you exhale. Stay here. Take another big breath in. And then release the hands. Find a forward fold. Heel toeing the feet a little closer together. Coming into ragdoll. Catch the crooks of your opposite elbows. Maybe you find a little sway, little bounce. Great, release the hands down, heel to the feet even closer together, finding a distance that feels steady for your hips. And then wing your arms by your side. Bring some awareness into the lower back. See if you can find support there by pulling your belly button inward and upward, Uddiyana Bandha. Interlace your hands at your lower back here. Take a breath in. And then fold forward with that bind. We're going to hold on to the bind, bend your knees a little bit, inner thighs are hugging toward midline as you unroll all the way up to standing. Once you're upright, hug the knuckles down, give your glutes a gentle squeeze, hips press forward, finding a standing back bend, breathe in. And then bring your hands to your heart, releasing that bind. Reach your arms upward, take a breath in as you stretch. And then fold forward, catch your calves, tuck your chin to your chest. Find a halfway stretch, wing the arms by your side again, belly to low back, breathe in. Interlace your hands and bow forward as you breathe out. Keep the bind, unroll, steady, 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 inhaling it into a little back bend, hips forward, glutes strong, neutral spine as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart. One more time like that, reach up and fill. Bow forward and empty. Wing your arms, halfway stretch, breathe in. Interlace at the lower back as you exhale and fold. Unroll, rise it all the way up. Push the feet down, lift your chest on the inhale. Neutral spine, belly to low back, hands to heart. Set your eyes at the tips of your fingers. Surya Namaskar A. Reach your arms up, take a breath in. And then bow forward, easy does it. Find a halfway stretch. This time fingers are going to be in line with your toes on your mat. And then plant the hands as you step back to a high push-up. Pausing in your plank, shift your whole body forward and backward. Press down through your hands. Draw up through your low belly. Shift forward, take a breath in. And then lower all the way down to your chest. We're going to come into cobra, but you'll bend your right knee and look over your right shoulder. So that right knee bends, right toes point. either up toward the ceiling, or maybe you can point the toes toward the back of the head. And then release the right leg. Tap your forehead or your nose to your mouth. Cobra, this time we go to the left. Point the left toes up or toward the back of your head. Big stretch for the left quad. And then exhale, tap the forehead down. Let's do both legs. Inhale, lift up, little cobra. And then child's pose on the exhale. Tuck your toes, send your hips back towards your heels. Take 2 deep breaths here. And finish that second exhale. Pull forward to your hands and your knees. Tuck the toes under, breathe in. Down dog, press hips up and back on the breath out. Look forward, lift the heels. And then you're gonna step between your thumbs this time to the top of the mat. Winged arm halfway stretch, breathe in. So lots going on in the core today. Interlace at the lower back as you exhale, push into the balls of your feet. Unroll with or without the bind. Take a breath in, lift the chest. Find a neutral spine first, then bring your hands to your heart. Reach upward, breathing in. Bow forward, empty it out. Halfway stretch, fingers are in line with the toes, or maybe you plant the palms, already setting up. Step back, high plank, go all the way down. Cobra to the right, inhale, maybe you tent the fingers or hover them as you look over your right shoulder. Exhale down through the center. Cobra to the left, breathe in. Take it down through the center as you empty. Cobra, both legs, inhale. Child's pose, just for an exhale. Shift forward, hands and knees, tuck the toes as you breathe in. Downward facing as you breathe out. Let's lift the right leg and then put a bend in your right knee. Find some movement with your right ankle, drawing some circles with that ankle, or some movement with your right knee. Switch the direction of whatever joint you're moving, so finding some sensation in the ankle or perhaps in the hip. And then kick right leg back behind you as you breathe in. Step your right foot behind your right wrist, finding warrior one. Rising up, reaching the arms up as you root down to the base of your right big toe. Being back into this concept of balancing your effort with some quality of ease or softness. And maybe that's just the state of mind that you have in this shape. So still strong and stable through your legs. Take another deep breath in and then cactus your arms, option for lion's breath or an open mouth exhale. 2 more times, reach your arms up, breathe in. Bend the elbows, exhale through the nose or the mouth. Last time, breath in. Breath out. Warrior one on the in breath. Find lightning warrior as you hinge the hips back, wing your arms by your side. Stay here or interlace your hands at your lower back. Start to shift the weight into the right foot, lift the left heel, press powerfully through your right foot as you fly that left leg up into airplane. Keep tugging the knuckles down, or if you don't take the bind, reach the fingertips for the space behind you. Feel the sides of the neck grow long as the shoulder blades pull down onto the back of the ribs and toward your spine. And stay here, take a big breath in and a big breath out. Single-legged mountain, reach your arms and your left knee up, flex your left foot, circle the left ankle for 3, 2, 1. Switch the direction of your ankle circles. And then we're going to find a figure 4, crossing the knife edge of your left foot or the outer edge of your left shin over the top of the right thigh. Keep your back relatively flat here, so you're hinging the hips back. Bringing your chest closer and closer toward that left shin. We're going to catch the left foot or the left knee with the right hand and find dancing Shiva, extending that left leg forward as you reach the left fingertips back. Set your gaze, your drishti, to one spot. You've been practicing dancing Shiva for a while. I want you to imagine that you're pulling that back left arm back in space behind you and push that front left leg over to the right. We're going to come back to our figure 4 shape. So plant that left foot outside of the right thigh, sit low. From here, we're going to reach the left knee and the arms up, finding that single-legged mountain at the top. Breathe in. And then plant your left foot underneath your left hip, hands to heart, little squat. Lift your left heel and then come right back up onto the right leg. So left heel is elevated for single leg squat here. If you need more, maybe you pick that left foot all the way up or play around with putting less and less weight in that left big toe. We're going to stand it all the way up in 3. Take it low in 2. Sit nice and low here, and then all the way up. Big breath in, both feet root down. Bow forward and empty. Halfway stretch, take a breath in. This time, plant your hands, step back, high plank, go halfway or all the way down. Come onto the tops of the feet, cobra pose or upward facing dog. Pause and finish that stretch. And then downward facing dog. Left leg lifts this time. Put a bend in your left knee. Find some sort of rotation with the ankle or move the knee in big circles to really air out your hips. Switch the direction of those circles that you're making, whether it's with your knee or your ankle. Left leg kicks long, big breath in. Step forward, find warrior 1 on this side. Set your eyes to one spot and then remind yourself that there's always an opportunity to find a little bit of ease. Maybe you soften the muscles around the eyes and create like an inner smile around your heart. Soften through the jaw. Take a breath in. Practice your elbows, open mouth exhale, or lion's breath is an option. 2 more times. Breathe in. Maybe you look up. Exhale. Elbows bend. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Reach up. Take a breath in. And then hinge it forward, finding your lightning warrior. Keep pressing down through all 4 corners of that left front foot. You can stay here with the fingers reaching for the space behind you or interlace your hands. Grow long through the back and the sides of the neck. Lift your right heel, shift the weight forward, and then find your airplane variation. Soft bend in your standing left knee, reaching long through your right foot or ankle as if you could create more space in your right hip, and then pulling the crown of the head toward the front of your space. So your body's being stretched in opposite directions here from the inside out. Breathing from your right toes all the way up to the crown of the head. Slow motion, find your single-legged mountain. Right knee comes up, arms reach. Find your balance here, circle the right ankle. Switch the direction of those ankle circles. See if you can just move the ankle. So it's really common for that whole lower leg to move. Nothing wrong with that, but play around with segmenting the movement, finding your figure 4 when you're ready. Send the hips back and down as if you're moving your hips toward the back short edge of your yoga mat. Pulling the hip creases toward that back edge. No matter how difficult things become, we are allowed to create a quality of ease or sweetness inside of our own beings, inside of our own body, with our own energy, with our own breath. When you're ready, set up dancing Shiva, catching the right foot or the right knee with the left hand. Kick right leg forward, reach right arm back. Choose a point for your eyes to land, finding your drishti, finding your focus. And then breathe into this shape. If you've been practicing dancing Shiva for a while, the extended right leg and right arm, imagine that you could pull them over toward the left side of the space, finding a little bit of a deeper twist, a little bit more stretch through the outer edge of the right leg. Good, come back to your figure four. Make it nice and low again, finding that challenge. We're going to take it to our single-legged mountain. Inhale as you reach the arms and the right leg up. And then just the right toes drop, or the ball of the right foot, as you find that squat position. So you can keep the right foot down as you lift and lower the hips, hinge and open through the hips and the knee. Option to come all the way off of that right foot. But see if you can choose what version lets you keep that knee moving forward and backward. So if the knee starts to wobble in and out, put more weight into the right foot so that you can clean up that movement path for 3. We'll take it low in 2. Take it nice and low, big breath. All the way up, both feet down as you reach, and then bow forward, let that go. Halfway stretch, breathe in. Plant the hands, step back, high to low push-up. Up dog or cobra on an in-breath. And then downward facing dog as you exhale. We're on the right side. Lift your leg, breathe in. Bring your right knee to your left elbow. Kick that right leg over to the left. Lift the left arm up. You can drop the knife edge of your right foot, or you can float it. We're here for 3. We're going to turn this into a seated straddle facing the back in 2 and 1. So that right foot comes down, drop the hips, and then fold forward over your left leg. Take 3 deep breaths here. Notice if you're holding tension in your jaw or your neck. As you start to lift up after that 3rd exhale, right hand's going to come back. We're going to come right back in to our dancing warrior. Breathe in. Left hand comes down. 3-legged dog. Right leg kicks back on an in-breath. Step forward as you exhale, just like before. Warrior 1, breathe in. But just one time, bend the elbows as you breathe out. Reach up, inhale. Lightning warrior, hinge it forward, wing your arms back on the exhale. Stay here or interlace your fingers as you fly up into airplane. Breathing in, breathing out. Single-legged mountain, left knee and arms, reach them up, breath in. Figure 4, sit it low as you empty. Dancing Shiva, inhale, open. Back to figure 4, take it low. Single-legged mountain, breathe in. Find that squat, single leg, or both feet down for 3, 2, 1. Drop your left foot, rise on an in-breath. Fold forward on the out. Halfway stretch, keep it smooth, breathe in. Plant the hands, step back, high to low push-up. Cobra or upward dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale, left leg lifts, breathe in. Bring your left knee to your right elbow, shoot that leg out. You can hover the foot or drop it down. We're here for 3. We're gonna lower the foot and the hips in 2 and 1. Lower the foot and the hips, and then fold forward over your right leg. Breathing in, breathing out. 2 more times, maybe you close your eyes and really tune into the sensation of the stretch. When you're ready, come back to dancing warrior, left hand down, reach the right arm up on an in-breath. And then right hand floats down as you exhale, left leg all the way back, breathe in. Step forward, real deliberate, warrior one, rise on the in-breath. Practice the elbows as you exhale. Reach it up and breathe in. Lightning warrior, breath out. Interlace or not as you find your airplane pose, breathing in and breathing out. Lift the right knee, inhale, arms up. Figure four just for the exhale, take it low. Find your dancing Shiva, inhale, open to the right. Back to figure four, hips sink down. Single-legged mountain, breathe in. Single-legged squat, or you can have that right foot down. Add a pulse or hold it for 3, 2, 1. Take it low all the way up on the in-breath. Forward fold and empty. Halfway stretch, breathe in. Plant the hands, step back, high plank to low plank. We'll meet in downward facing dog. We're gonna put that together and add a few pieces in. Right leg lifts first, breathe in. Right knee to the left elbow, shoot it out. Inhale as you reach up. Drop the hips, exhale and fold over your left leg. Come right back to dancing warrior. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, bring the left hand down. Three-legged dog, breathe in. Look outside of your right pinky finger. Step your right foot outside of the right hand. And then drop the back knee down. Reach your right arm up and open. Stay here or bend your back knee and catch the foot or ankle. Either way, push your left hand down into the mat to twirl your chest open toward the right side of the space or maybe toward the ceiling. Soften the space between your eyes, breathing in. Release the back foot as you exhale. Tuck the back set of toes under. Find Prasarita, pivoting your toes toward the left edge of your mat. And then ragdoll your arms. Give it a little sway. Alternately, you could play around with taking some ankle taps or even a twist. I'm going to go with this way. It just feels like the most easeful version here. Look toward the top of the mat. Sweep the hands to the top. Pivot the toes to the top. Find crescent lunge this time as you breathe in. And then cactus the elbows, bend the back knee so that it's hovering, or maybe you even tap your mat. Back to crescent. Inhale. Try and keep the front leg relatively still. Exhale. Bend the elbows. Tap that back knee. One more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Crescent lunge on the inhale. Airplane. Launch it forward. Lift that back leg high. Breathe in. And out. Single-legged mountain. Inhale, reach. Figure four. Exhale, hips sink back and down. Dancing Shiva. Unravel. Woo, to the left. Little wobbly there. It's part of it. Back to figure four. Find a single-legged mountain. We're going to change it up here. Take a breath in. And then fly it back to airplane. From airplane pose. Drop the ball of your left foot to the back of the mat, reach the arms up, and then slowly bend your elbows and lower that back knee all the way down. Reach your arms up, let the hips sink forward a little bit. So you're in a supported crescent lunge, Vinyasa. As you exhale, bring the arms out in front of you, neutral spine, row the elbows back, straighten that right leg out. 3 more, inhale, supported crescent, let the hips melt. Exhale, row it back. 2 more, move with your breath. So first principle of movement is that we want to move well. So find a path of movement that you feel stable, supported, connected through. The next time you find your Hanumanasana, stay here or interlace your hands at your lower back. I'm on the ball of my left foot. Maybe I'm going to wiggle my hips a little bit over that left heel. Lean back, draw your navel to your lower back. This might be right where you stay. Flex your right foot. Stay here or see if you can lift that right leg up for 3. Whoa, 2. Wobbles are part of it. And lower that foot down. Take a breath in. 2 more times. Option to lift that foot. Find space in the lower back. Pull your belly to the low back. Good, lower it down. One more time. Lift the right heel, hover for 3, 2, 1. Set the right heel down, rebend the right knee. You're on the ball of the left foot and the left knee. And then we're going to bring the hands to the hips. See if you can bring your right knee underneath your right hip, setting up for camel pose. So get there in some way that works for you. Knees are hips distance. Imagine that you've got a block between your thighs. So you've got some distance there. Maybe it's a really wide block or a really wide throw pillow. Hug in against that imaginary spacer that you've got. Bring your hands to your lower back, finding camel pose as you press the hips forward. Elbows point back in space or down, breathing right into the center of your chest. If it feels okay, drop the head. Bring a lot of awareness into your lower back here, engaging those deep abdominal muscles as you come up through a neutral spine, and then drop the hips to the heels. Breathe in and out. Come back into camel pose, hands to the low back. This time, roll the shoulders up toward your ears as you take a breath in. And then exhale, roll the shoulders back, cross the hips forward, slightly tucking the tailbone, glutes are active. Deep, deep breaths. Maybe the eyes close. Where can you find some ease from the inside out? Maybe you do back off and take a gentler version of this back bend. That's certainly part of the equation a lot of the time. Sometimes the biggest work that we can do is just that point of view, just that perspective. Call some ease into your body, into the experience. Breathe in. Neutral spine, untuck the toes this time. Send your hips to your heels. Bring the palms face down on your thighs. Let the eyes close or set your gaze to one spot, somewhere out past the tip of your nose. And just notice the sensations in your body, the movement of your breath. All of these messages, all of these sensory experiences that are just part of being alive, part of having a body. You're ready, take a breath in, maybe reach the arms up for a stretch. And then open mouth, exhale. Plant the hands, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. All right, left side, inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, left knee to your right elbow, shoot it out, reach the right arm open on an in-breath. Find that seated straddle reaching over toward your back leg as you exhale. Come back into dancing warrior, breathe in. Right hand comes down, left leg floats all the way back. Finish that in-breath and then look outside of your left pinky finger. Step your left foot down, drop your right knee down. Reach your left arm up and open. Push the right hand down. Feel your chest twirl open. Stay here or catch your back foot. Notice what's going on in your neck. Sometimes I like to take a really gentle, slow motion, no motion with the head and the neck. So if you can feel the upper spine kind of gliding around in space, nice and smooth. If you caught the back foot, gently release it. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee as you breathe in, and then prasarita. Your version, this time maybe you try on a different arm variation. You could bind the big toes with your peace fingers. Bend your elbows and then bring the crown of the head down toward the mat as you draw the shoulder blades up away from the ears here, so lengthening through the sides of the neck. Maybe you're in a different version of prasarita, whatever shape, whatever asana you've chosen. Tend to your point of view, your perspective. When you're ready, release the arms, pivot the toes forward, bring your hands to framing that front foot. And then we're gonna find a crescent lunge. Is that what we did? Inhale, reach up, that's right. Exhale, cactus your elbows. And back to crescent lunge on the in-breath. And then lightning crescent as you empty. Interlace or not, as you find airplane pose, really pull back in space with the right leg, reach forward with the crown of the head. Single-legged mountain, reach the right knee up and the arms, breathe in. Figure four just for a long exhale, take it low. Dancing Shiva, inhale, open to the right. Back to figure four, exhale, hips sink back and down, lower back stays long. Single-legged mountain, breathe in. We're flying right back into airplane as you exhale. Drop the ball of the foot to the back, crescent lunge on an in-breath. Practice the elbows, hover that back knee. Couple more, inhale, keep the front leg straight, or keep it still rather. Exhale, bend the right knee, so left knee stays bent. One more time, breathe in. Breathe out, push down through the base of the left big toe, drop that back knee all the way down. Reach the arms up, let the hips melt forward, Anjaneyasana. Maybe you bring the palms together, take your eyes towards your thumbs, and then find a neutral spine as you bring your arms forward, row it back into a row Hanuman variation. 3 more times, inhale, moving well, moving smooth. Exhale, that could mean you take a smaller range of motion. Breathe in. And breathe out. Again, inhale. Take it back to Hanumanasana here as you exhale, interlacing the hands, bringing that right heel more toward the middle of your glutes. Draw your belly to the low back as you lean back a little bit. And we'll try and lift that left heel for 3. Ooh, 2, this side's even more wobbly. 1, and drop it down. Right, so just imagine that heel lifting, whether it does anything or not. We've got 2 more attempts here. So much going on in the left quads. Drop the heel down if you lifted it. Last time, flex your left foot. Lift for 3, 2, 1. Thank goodness, drop that foot down. Rise it up onto your back knee, reach your arms up. And then see if you can bring that left knee underneath your left hip. This time, untuck your toes. Bring your big toes together and then separate your knees a little bit. So knees are wider. It's almost like we're coming into child's pose, but that's not quite where we're gonna go. Interlace your fingers except for your index finger. Kali Mudra, pulling the arms up toward the ceiling. And then keep the tailbone slightly tucked as you lean back. Come back up onto the knees. Lean it back. So we'll move like this. Rise up, pushing into the shins and the tops of the feet. You can ditch the arms, you can ditch the movement and find a seated meditation. If you're here with me, we're doing a lot of work on the quads here. So the fronts of the thighs. The more you lean back, the more we have to use the quads to rise. If you send the hips back, we'll be shifting into the glutes. Not a bad thing. Not wrong, just learning to kind of work with your body. Last 3, bring the hands to the heart, keep the Kali Mudra, 2. And then pause in a challenge point. We're gonna take a lift an inch, lower an inch. Keep pressing into the shins here. Set your gaze straight forward, somewhere past the tip of your nose on the horizon. Holy smokes, just here for 3, for 2, and 1. Rise it all the way up. Bring the knees together. Seated meditation. Sit back onto your heels. Bring your palms face down onto the tops of the thighs. It might feel good to gently kind of massage the thighs. Breathing in and breathing out. See if you can come into some stillness or slow down any movement. And just notice the quality of your energy here without judging it. See if you can just notice. My life, and I think a lot of us as humans, there's sometimes this tendency to make things harder than they need to be. To get kind of fixated on what's wrong in the world, and there are lots of places to look if we want examples. Yoga is not about ignoring any of that or pretending like it's not there or pushing it away. But the practice is about taking responsibility for your point of view, for your perspective, for your state of mind, and making sure that as we're acknowledging discomfort, as we're acknowledging pain and suffering, we're also making sure to notice the things about our lives that are going right, the blessings that we have, the countless things that had to work out. It's for you to have time to sit down and take a deep breath and practice. If you feel like you don't know where to start with some of the good stuff, if you're struggling to identify any of it, try not to judge that. Our minds are really good at bringing into hyper-focus things that might be threatening or dangerous. But see if you can start, right? If you're finding yourself stuck there, start by just taking a deep breath in. And a breath out. See if you can get a little bit more present this next time. Breathing in, noticing that flow of prana, noticing energy and life in your body. Exhaling, offering it up, letting go of some of the tension. Let's do that one more time here. Breathe in. You're ready. Open your mouth and open your eyes. Go ahead and find a seat with your legs out in front of you. Might feel good to kind of shake out the legs a little bit, paddle them out, wiggle out the feet. And then we're going to bring the hands by the sides of the hips here. Scooch back a little bit, press the palms down. If you have blocks, you can absolutely use blocks for underneath your hands here. Flex your feet, draw your belly to your lower back, chin to chest, jawline to our bandha, and then lift the hips. You can also play around with tenting the fingers to lift. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Lower the hips down, relax the hands, shake it out. And then again, press the floor away with your palms or your fingers. Maybe you press blocks away. Lift for 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. This time, reach your arms up. Take a big breath in as you stretch and then fold forward, reaching for any point from the back of the knees to the soles of the feet. Start to lift the head and the neck, walking the hands back by you. This time, you're going to bend your knees, plant your feet down about hips distance apart, push the hands down, rotate the shoulders onto the back of the body, and then lift up into your reverse tabletop. You can keep the chin tucked, or if it feels good, drop the head, open the throat, opening up through the fronts of the thighs, through the fronts of the hips, the belly, the heart. Take a deep breath in. You're going to keep the hips lifted, but straighten out the legs as you send your hips back between your heels, or back between your hands rather. Come back to reverse table. Inhale, back between the heels of your hands. Exhale, shoot your hips back. Again, inhale, reverse table, really press the ground away. Exhale, shoot the hips back in space. One more time, breathe in. Breathe out, hold it here, flex your feet firm, and then lift your right foot. Point the right toes, little pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the hips, drop the heel, reach up, big breath in. Hold forward, let that go. 3 deep breaths here. One more deep breath. All right, lift the head and the neck. Hands come back behind you. Bend your knees. Push the floor away, reverse table. Hold and breathe. Hold the asana, but move your breath. And then maybe adjust your point of view, adjust your state of mind. Breathe in. Shoot the hips back between the heels of your hands, straighten your legs out. Again, reverse your table, long inhale, big stretch and open. Exhale, shoot the hips back. 2 more times, breathe in. And breathe out. Last reverse table here, inhale, lift, lift, lift. Shoot the hips back, keep the hips lifted, flex the feet firm. Keep flexing your right foot, point the left toes, lift the left foot. Pulse for 5, 4, try and keep the left leg straight. 3, 2, 1. Drop the hips, drop the heel, reach up and breathe in. And then this time, bring the soles of the feet together as you fold forward, Baddha Konasana. You can bring your fingers into a sling outside of the knife edge of your foot or your feet. Start to lift the head and the neck and the chest. Take your hands outside of your knees, close the knees together. Bring the hands out past the edges of your mat, fingers point away from you, and then just toggle the knees side to side. If your wrists, my wrists are really talking to me today, are giving you a lot of feedback, you can go ahead and come on to the elbows if that feels okay. And see if you can find some softness in your palms and your fingers. And then from here, we're going to recline all the way onto the back, hugging your right knee into your chest. You can stretch the left leg out, give your right knee a really good hug. You could interlace your fingers around the right shin, or you might even create like a bind by wrapping your forearms around the right shin, catching the opposite elbows. Hug your right knee in toward your right underarm, and then breathe your belly up into the right thigh. Stay here, give your right knee an even bigger squeeze, breathe in, and then find a spinal twist, cactus, or tee your right arm. Use your left hand outside of the crook of the right knee to draw that knee across the body for a twist. Bring some length in the neck, keeping the neck long. Maybe you keep the nose pointing straight up or tilt your chin so that you're nodding toward the right. Bring your head back through the center as you take a breath in. And then both of your knees gradually come into your chest. You pause here. Maybe you move around a little bit side to side or draw some circles with your knees. And then we're going to set up with that left knee hugging in and the right leg extending. Maybe you clasp the opposite elbows, wrapping the forearms around the shins. Maybe you kind of hug that left knee and shin down with your fingers. And find some way of really holding that left thigh close to the body, pointing the left knee toward the left underarm. And breathe as low into your belly as you can here. Maybe you even can feel the breath moving into the lower back or the sides of the hips. Maybe into the thighs. Take another big breath in. And then find your twist, guiding your left knee across. Maybe the chin stays pointing up at the ceiling. Maybe you turn your head a little bit to the left. Let's see again how far down into your body you can feel the movement of your breath. That prana sending nutrients, oxygen, energy down into your lower back, your belly. Bring the head back through neutral if you tilted the chin left, breathing in. Both knees into your chest, either happy baby or rocket side to side with the knees into your chest. When you're ready, one leg at a time, one arm at a time, take your time to find Shavasana. If laying on your back for any reason today just isn't it in terms of where you can find some stillness and some rest, feel free to come onto your belly, to take Shavasana in the fetal position, or even to stand up for your Shavasana. Do allow your body an opportunity to drop into stillness. Finding this particular shape. It's a chance to practice letting go. A chance to practice being with what is. Stay here, allowing yourself to practice. You can listen for my voice in just about 40 seconds or so to end our session. If you've got longer to linger here, feel free to log off or to shut off the recording. Here just a moment longer, giving yourself permission to continue to cultivate a helpful mindset, a more optimistic or solution or growth-oriented point of view. When you're ready to move off of your mat, go ahead and invite some movement back into your body. Perhaps take a big breath in. Maybe you add in a stretch, reaching arms overhead, pointing toes. An open mouth exhale. Meet me in a seat. Closing practice intentionally with your hands at your heart. This Anjali Mudra. Mudra means seal, so we're sealing in some of this energy. From that place, perhaps a gentle bow of the chin to the chest, honoring this practice of yoga. Namaste. Thanks for taking care of yourself in this way. It's always a real honor to teach. I hope that the practice serves you well, and I hope to see you again soon.